Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. We're about to do a program to do an in-depth planetary puja using the chart of now based on where the planets and stars are relative to my location, which right now is in New Mexico in the United States. My name is Swamini Valli. I am hosting this program Monday through Friday, and I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer, and I'm very happy to be doing this for you. Dr. Pillai has explained several times that the planets and stars are more than just objects in outer space. There is a divine light being associated with all of them. And in doing this puja, we are inviting the blessings from the planets and stars and archetypes to come into our lives and into our world. We're using the chart of now in a South Indian style form of layout. If you're unfamiliar with the South Indian style layout of a chart, you're welcome to watch a tutorial video that is listed below this video. Each of the 12 boxes that you're seeing on the screen represents a particular zodiac sign. And to do the chart, to do the puja, I've drawn the chart in chalk on a little chalkboard, which is on a side table. I also have a container of water. I have a lit tea light. I have a bell. I have a hand fan. And I also have a bowl of fresh flower petals that I'm going to use in doing the puja. Dr. Pillai has said that the names of all these divine beings is a quantum sound or a mantra. So even just hearing the sounds is something that can help us to go into a higher state of awareness. I know that some of you participate along with me. You've drawn the chart yourself, you have your flower petals, and that's wonderful. And some of you may just be listening to this in the background while you're doing other things. Maybe you're driving to work or you're folding the laundry, and that's okay too. However you wish to participate is totally fine. And if you have to step away for a few moments and come back, that's fine as well. So I'm going to start with first taking the little container of water, dipping the ring finger of my right hand into it, and sprinkling a few drops of water on each side of the blackboard chart to create a purified space for the puja, a few drops of water on me to symbolically purify me, and I'm sending a few drops of water out into space towards all of you to symbolically purify everyone, whether you're watching it live or listening to it later as part of the replay. We start with invoking Ganesha, the archetype who can help remove obstacles, and he's also a patron of astrology. Om Sring Gang, Om Sring Gang, Om Sring Gang. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja and to remove all obstacles from our day or our evening. And we thank him for his help with this. Now I do a short Tamil chant asking all of the planets to be beneficial towards us. I have put a link for that chant up above earlier in the chat if you're unfamiliar with it. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avarku Mikave. We ask all of the planets to be beneficial today towards us and towards our world. We thank St. Gnanasamundar for teaching this chant, and we are grateful to Dr. Pillai for sharing it with us. Now we're going to honor the planet that rules the day, the star that the moon is in, the Tithi or the moon phase, the planet of the hour that's ruling the hour, as well as the yoga and the Karana time elements. We start with honoring the planet that rules the day. Today is Wednesday, ruled by Mercury. I will put the flower petals on Mercury. When I say Namaha, I'm putting a flower petal in an appropriate location on the chart. We start with Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Next, we honor the star that the moon is in. At the moment, the moon is in a star called Kritika, a star that has energies for truth. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Next, we honor the Tithi, or the moon phase. At the moment, in my local area, we are in the third waning moon, called Tritiya in Sanskrit. Dr. Pillai said we would use the Sanskrit name of the moon phase, followed by the word Devi, which is invoking the light being associated with that moon phase. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Tritiya Devye Namaha. Om Tritiya Devye Namaha. Om Tritiya Devye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that ruling the hour, and in my local area, that is the moon. I put more flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. For the yoga and the Karana, Dr. Pillai said we would not use flower petals. We would just say their names 3 times each. The yoga that's active right now is one called Siddhi, which has energies of accomplishment. Siddhi, Siddhi, Siddhi. And the Karana that's active right now is one called Vishti, which has energies that are inefficient. Vishti, Vishti, Vishti. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. Dr. Pillai said we would always start this part of the puja by honoring the planet that's ruling the ascendant sign. The ascendant sign is represented here with the AC. This is a sign rising in the eastern horizon right now in my local area. The sign here is Libra, and the planet that rules Libra is Venus. So right now we're going to honor Venus for ruling the ascendant. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now, starting with the ascendant sign, we're going to honor the planets. We'll go in a clockwise direction around the chart, going into each sign that has planets in it. Right now, in Libra is Ketu. We honor Ketu, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu is in a star called Vishaka, a star that can give blessings for triumph, for victory. I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra can give blessings for courage and leadership, and Agni can give blessings for purification and transformation. We honor both of them, and I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by Jupiter. I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a sign that has energies for fairness, balance, harmony, today containing Ketu, who is sometimes called the saintly planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. For some of you, the reflections may create seeings. Some of you may have feelings. Some of you may have understandings. And all of those are valid modes of perception. The next Rasi side with the planet in it is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto, who is retrograde, and Saturn, who is retrograde. When planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. We're including the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, because earlier this year, Dr. Pillai commissioned for statues to be made for all three of them, had those statues energized in a fire lab in India, and then placed in his temple that's in the Chennai area. So we use the mantras for them that were used in the fire labs that energize those statues. So first we honor Pluto here, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Pluto right now is in a star called Uttara Ashada. This is a star that can give blessings for long-lasting success. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Uttara Ashadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Ashadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Ashadaye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, 10 archetypes who each embody a unique, divine, universal principle. We honor all 10 of them, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the sun. I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor Saturn, who is retrograde, for being in Capricorn, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Saturn is in a star called Dhanishta, a star that can give blessings for prosperity, music, good reputation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by the 8 Vasus, 8 light beings, who each rule different spheres of existence. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Capricorn, which is Saturn. I put more flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara, or Capricorn, a sign that can activate ancient past life skills and abilities, today containing Pluto, a planet associated with rationality and science, and Saturn, a planet that can give blessings for patience, structure, perseverance, and compassion and service to others. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Kumbha or Aquarius, which today contains Neptune, who is also retrograde. We honor Neptune, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in a star called Purva Bhadrapada, a star that can help us with purification. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Aja Ekapada, an archetype who can help us to experience deeper levels of silence and stillness, as well as forgiveness. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Aquarius, which is Saturn. I put more flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kumbha or Aquarius, the most humanitarian and service-oriented of all the zodiac signs, today containing Neptune, a planet that can help us with our intuition and our ability to understand our own inner life. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next rasi or sign with the planet in it is Mina or Pisces, which today contains Jupiter, who is also retrograde. We honor Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Jupiter is in a star called Uttara Bhadrapada. This is a star that can give blessings for business development, according to Dr. Pillai. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada's star is ruled by an archetype called Ayurbundya. He is an archetype who can help guard our precious treasures and valuables. We ask him to guard our valuables and also to guard the precious treasure that is the earth itself. Om Ayurbundyaye Namaha. Om Ayurbundyaye Namaha. Om Ayurbundyaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada's star is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Pisces, which is Jupiter. I put more flower petals on Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Mina or Pisces, today containing Jupiter, a planet that helps with everything related to spirituality. Pisces is a sign that is the most metaphysical, the most transcendental of all the zodiac signs. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next rasi or sign with the planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Rahu, Uranus, who is retrograde, and also the moon. Rahu and Uranus are in the same star, so I will invoke both of them before I invoke the star. We start with Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Now we invoke Uranus, who is retrograde. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Rahu and Uranus are both in the same star called Bharani, a star that has a tremendous amount of divine feminine Shakti or energy or power. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals across Rahu and Uranus. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Bharani's star is ruled by Yama. Among other things, he is an archetype of justice. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Bharani's star is ruled by Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the moon for being in Aries. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. The moon is in a star called Kritika, a star symbolized with a razor or a cutter. This is a star of truth. It gets to truth that's at a very deep level. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Om Kritikaye Namaha. Kritika's star is ruled by Agni, the archetype who rules fire. Om Agnihe Namaha. Om Agnihe Namaha. Om Agnihe Namaha. Kritika's star is ruled by the sun. I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Aries, which is Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a fire sign with very active energies, today containing Rahu, a planet that can help us to think outside the box. Uranus, a planet that helps with success in life, intelligence, and even can help with astrology. And the moon, which is our mind and our emotions. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi sign with the planet in it is Vrishabha or Taurus, which today contains Mars. We honor Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in a star called Mrigashira, a star that has interest and curiosity about new things. This is a star that helps us to have energy to have fresh adventures, perhaps move to new places, start a new job, try out new foods. Mrigashira gives us that curiosity and interest to go beyond our routines and our patterns. We honor this star. Om Mrigashiraye Namaha. Om Mrigashiraye Namaha. Om Mrigashiraye Namaha. Mrigashira's star is ruled by Soma, a liquefied form of the moon, in which he is a divine nectar called Amrita, a nectar of immortality. The moon rules liquid things like sap and the tides, so that he is a divine liquid is not really surprising. We honor Soma and we put the flower petals on Mars. Om Somaye Namaha. Om Somaye Namaha. Om Somaye Namaha. Mrigashira's star is ruled by Mars. Again, we honor Mars and put more flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Taurus, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishabha or Taurus, a grounded, earthy sign that's also luxury loving, today containing Mars, a planet that likes to take practical action to solve problems. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Kanya or Virgo, which today contains Mercury, Venus, and the Sun. We honor Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Mercury is in a star called Uttara Palguni. This is a star that has energy for relationships. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Uttara Palgunaye Namaha. Om Uttara Palgunaye Namaha. Om Uttara Palgunaye Namaha. Uttara Palguni star is ruled by Aryaman, an archetype who rules contracts, integrity, keeping one's word, honor. Om Aryamanye Namaha. Om Aryamanye Namaha. Om Aryamanye Namaha. Uttara Palguni star is ruled by the sun. I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor Venus for being in Virgo. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Venus is in a star called Hasta, a star symbolized as an open hand giving blessing. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Hastaye Namaha. Om Hastaye Namaha. Om Hastaye Namaha. Hasta star is ruled by Savitur, a form of the sun that's very keen to help with evolution of human consciousness. Savitur can actually help stretch our minds so that we can absorb higher truths. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Saviturye Namaha. Om Saviturye Namaha. Om Saviturye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Hasta, which is the moon. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Next, we honor the sun for being in Virgo. I place the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. The sun is in a star called Chitra, a star symbolized as a brilliant, shining jewel. We honor Chitra, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Chitra star is ruled by Tvashtar, an archetype who is a master craftsman. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Chitra star is ruled by Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Virgo, which is Mercury. I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kanya or Virgo, the most detail-oriented of all the zodiac signs, a zodiac sign with energy for organization, analytical thinking, pattern recognition, today containing Mercury, planet of communication, and also a planet for business. Venus, planet of happiness and passion, and love of material plane comforts. And the sun, which is our soul, and is also so important for our health and our ability to have self-confidence and self-esteem. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. Now, I take a lit tea light and I hold it above the blackboard that has the chart drawn on it and all the piles of flower petals. And in the air, I circle it above the chart in a clockwise direction 3 times, offering the element of light to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked. Next, I'm taking a little hand fan to offer the element of air. And I wave that over the chart 3 times in a clockwise direction, offering the element of air and also a cooling breeze. And finally, I ring a bell, offering the element of sound. Now I make prayer hands, and I sincerely ask all of these divine beings to bless all of us, to bless our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our communities, our countries, and indeed the entire world. May everyone on this planet have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs. May everyone on this planet have love in their life, now and always. I pray for enlightened leaders, enlightened citizens, enlightened laws, enlightened countries, and entire enlightened civilizations. I ask for blessings for all of my teachers, past, present, and to come. And I pray for blessings for all of my students, past, present, and to come. And I make a bow. You can continue to make your own prayers in silence for about a minute, and then we can do some short question and answer period. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment, peace, peace, peace. May we all go about our day or our evening in peace. Thank you all so much for joining us. I truly appreciate your participation and your support. Right now, we have a few minutes. If you have questions, you can post them in the chat, and I will do my best to try and answer them. But again, thank you very much for being here. And we do appreciate it if you can press the like button and subscribe to the channel, as it helps the Religion of Religions channel to grow. Dr. Pillai would like this channel to continue to grow. And when you like it and subscribe, it makes the YouTube algorithm start to suggest it to more people on their homepage. So appreciate those of you that help with that as well. So just checking the chat to see if there's any questions today. Thank you everyone for being here, whether you post in the chat or not. We're very grateful to have you here joining in prayers across different states, different countries, different continents. It's a very sweet thing that we have this technology that can unite us in prayer across, different time zones and different places. So thank you for your support with that. Okay, still not seeing any questions today in the chat, just several thank yous. And it's my pleasure to be doing this. And I'm very grateful to Dr. Pillai for the opportunity to be sharing this puja with others, and grateful to the entire team at Pillai Center that helps support the back end of the programs, creating the links for the YouTube, sending out the emails. There is a special thing coming up next month called Diwali, which is actually is Diwali next month or this month? It's coming up. Diwali is a very special festival in India. It's kind of like the equivalent in a way of Christmas, I guess, in America, or Hanukkah. It's a great festival where children like to get presents and new clothes. And Mohini, who's in charge of Dr. Pillai's nonprofit organization, Tripura Foundation, is collecting money to help with making purchases for all of the Hope Center children, so that they can all get something fresh to wear, have a really nice meal, and some presents for that holiday. So it's one time of the year where it's nice to add a little extra donation over to Tripura Foundation for the Diwali festival that's coming up for the kids. I've been in India. It's the 24th of this month. Anuradha says, thank you so much. Anuradha, I knew I was doing a fire lab for it. And because I've been looking at October schedule and then into November, I couldn't remember which day it was. 24th of October, says Anuradha, is Diwali. Thank you for that. Thank you. So I have been in India a few times for Diwali, and I have been present to see the Tripura Foundation kids receiving some of their feast and their presents, and they sometimes will put on programs where they do dances and singing and some of their talents, etc. And it's a really happy festival. And it's one I donate monthly to Tripura, but for Diwali I always give extra money just for that festival, because I know how well Tripura spends the money. Mohini's very, very careful to make sure that the money is well spent. And I've seen for myself the delight in the kids' faces to get some new clothes, to get, various things that just make it feel like they're having a festival too, because some of them come from backgrounds where their own family may not be able to do that for them. So we very much appreciate anyone who's able to help with that. www.tripurafoundation.org. So since you didn't have questions today, I gave you a little bit of a commercial for doing something good. Service to others is a very important remedy always. All of the planets like it when we do kind things to others. They all like it when we help feed hungry people. That's always a good remedy. If you're ever dealing with a challenging situation and you don't know what remedy you should do, it's always good to help feed a hungry person. Dr. Pillai says it's the fastest way to access the grace of the divine. Someone is asking me to speak more about the energy of the nakshatra of the day, Kritika. Yes, Kritika star, again, as I mentioned, the symbol for it is like a razor or a cutter. It has a kind of sharp energy to it. And I have a good friend who has a moon in Kritika star. And this person cares about telling the truth, even if it's going to be sometimes not very tactful. And if I ask this person a question, and then, this person is maybe saying more truthful things than I really wanted to hear, the person will say, well, if you didn't want to hear the answer, you shouldn't have asked the question. So Kritika star, it's a sharp energy, but it's cutting in very truthfully. It's an energy of truth. And so we can ask this star to help us to be willing to look at the truth about ourselves, to speak the truth, to think the truth, to correct ourselves so that we are thinking truth. Maybe we have a jealous or an angry thought towards someone, and Kritika star is a star that could help us say, no, that's not how I want to think about that person. The real truth is I want to wish that person well. It's a sharp energy, but it's a very, very good energy. I value this friend of mine with the Kritika star because the person speaks the truth. And again, I might not always like to hear it, but I value people who can bring truth to the table, that can tell me things that maybe I need to hear or I'm glossing over. So Kritika star, I think it's a wonderful star, but it is a star where sometimes the people that have that star have to learn a little bit about how to sometimes present the truth, maybe in a more tactful way, so that others can be receptive to it and not just, bluntly come out of it in certain situations and state things that might, step on people a bit. But that's the energy of Kritika star. So a good day to look at the truth about ourselves, maybe to, take a look at, is what I'm doing really out of love today, or am I doing something perhaps out of my own ego? And if so, look at the truth of that and make a decision to switch over to love. Because Dr. Pillai says the truth about all of us is that each of us are God. And he says God is love and love is God. That's the real truth of the situation. And so all other stuff is, of our ego. We created this ego. We're very attached to it. We get hurt if someone steps on it. But Dr. Pillai says, when I'm dissolving your ego, I'm not taking away from you anything that really belongs to you. You are not your ego. You are God. You are each a light being. And all of these divine beings that we've been invoking, they're also inside of each of you. So in invoking them, we're also awakening these, these qualities, these energies inside of us too, and starting to connect with that. So that's a little bit about the Kritika star. And I see Catherine saying super helpful and thank you. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, great. Happy to help with that. Okay, great question. I always want to be respectful of your time, so I don't see any more questions for today. So I'm going to go ahead and say namaste. The light in me honors the light in all of you. May light encompass all. We'll close for today, and I'll see some of you again tomorrow. Namaste.